Welcome to EdTech at 7.5 FM, your gateway to innovation and learning. And good afternoon to you, our dear listeners. I'm Kenny Ogunaike. I'm your host for today.
Pain, I won't feel the shame.
Of course, it's another episode of Biography of Legend where we celebrate our living legends. And today we are thrilled to have Professor Samuel Olufemi Bababtunde, a renowned and distinguished scholar of African French literature, as it takes us through his life, his accomplishments, his future projections.
I won't feel the shame.
Bon après-midi, Professor. We are so thrilled to have you here in EdTech Studio, so you're welcome, sir. And so, Prof, would briefly love to meet you while knowing your academic journey and your future projections, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Professor Samuel Olufemi Bababtunde, Professor of African French Literature or Francophone African Literature at the Department of French Studies, Taisho University of Education, Ijagun, Nigeria. I am a native of Abeokuta, Owu, Abeokuta. I was born there and bred in Abeokuta. I grew up in Abeokuta and I attended Baptist Day School, Owu, Abeokuta. I attended African Church Grammar School for my secondary education. I was at Ansari Teacher Training College for 1 year, Teachers Grade 2 program. After that, I taught for 1 year in the primary school, and later I proceeded to Adeyemi College of Education, Ondo, but I spent just only one session there. The second session, I crossed to the University of Ife, and there I had my BA Hons in French. Later on, I had an appointment at the Ogun State College of Education in 1988. So since then, I've been on this campus. Then during my stay, I did my master's at the University of Lagos, 1989-90. I did my master's, and I also did PGD at OOU. That was 2004-2005.
Okay.
And then my Doctor of Literature and Philosophy at the University of South Africa, Pretoria, between 2011 and 2015. So, and after that, I became an associate prof in 2018, and finally in 2021, I became a full professor. Then my inaugural lecture was held on the 3rd of June, 2025.
Just recently.
Recently. So, I am happily married, and my wife, my children, I thank God.
They are doing so well.
They are doing well, and they don't give me any problem.
So God be the glory.
And I myself, I don't give them any problem. And I perform all my functions as the family head.
As a husband and father.
Father, yes. I finished my BA Hons in 1982-83. And then after that, I went for the youth service. I served at Lagos State College of Education, Ijanike, Lakoid, but it's now a university now. Lagos State University of Education, last week, Ijanike. So it was there I served for 1 year. Then after
as a lecturer?
As a lecturer, yes. Wow. As a corporate lecturer. Yes. And it was there I determined that I should be a lecturer.
The academic career started.
Yeah. It started. And then before I even went to the university, during my secondary school days, I lived with one teacher. He teaches at St. Leo's College. There they train grade 2 teachers. So he also lured me into academics, because when I was there living with him, he would introduce me to so many novels.
African literature novels.
And then English language. And then he would ask me to read every time when I'm free, that I should continue to read. So yeah, from there,
that, the passion came.
Yes, the passion came.
And the interest.
So when I served at a college of education for my youth service. So that one also, increased that
Zeal, the
zeal,
love,
yes, for French,
French.
and to become a lecturer.
And to God be the glory, you are not just a lecturer, you are a professor.
I'm now a professor.
And you're
To
not
God be
just
the
a
glory.
professor, you are the only professor of French language in Ogun State. African French literature in Ogun State.
Of course.
I mean, that's an
course.
incredible achievement.
Well, before one becomes a professor, it's a long way.
Yes,
And then one will have passed through so many experiences.
tough experiences,
Tough ones.
challenges,
Challenges,
the
yes.
good, the bad, the ugly,
and the
different
ugly,
ones.
yes.
Yes, sir.
So, as a professor, I am very happy that God has helped me to attain the peak of my career. So I give all glory and adoration to the Almighty God. So before I became a professor, it was, I did my doctoral very late. It was when we became university here that
It was mandated.
it was mandatory for every one of us to go for PhD program. So I tried some universities here in Nigeria, but their wahala was too much for me. Then I tried University of Ibadan, I tried University of Lagos, and then I decided that I should travel outside Nigeria
The country.
to achieve my aims. Unfortunately, I was given admission at the University of South Africa, Pretoria. So that was in 2011, January 2011. So I put in there, I traveled to Pretoria, and because I had a supervisor who was very kind, very good, and he's a guru. He's an academic guru. He's
You
a
were able
native.
to tap
he's
from
a-
his wealth
yes,
of knowledge.
He's from the Republic of Congo. He's by name Professor Ape Lete. So he has spent about 27 years in South Africa while I was there. So he is a citizen of South Africa. So he really helped me a lot. And you see, the mentality of our professors here in Nigeria, once you are their student, they just look down on you. They send you on unnecessary errands.
Not
They want you
related
to
to
worship
academic
them.
work. Yes.
They want you to worship them before you are awarded this certificate. It wasn't like that with my supervisor in South Africa.
I think it is a Nigerian culture here.
Oh, of course.
Peculiar to all universities.
For our old professors.
And they count that as academic rigor.
Of course.
Which is not even necessary.
Yeah, for our old professors. And I always tell our contemporaries who are new professors that we should not follow the footsteps of our predecessors. So when I was in South Africa, my supervisor will introduce me to his colleagues as the HOD of French from Tai Solarin University of Education in Nigeria.
Wow.
That have come to do my PhD.
So they didn't even see you as a student, they saw you as a colleague.
Of course, as a colleague. Even he made me the external moderator for French in his university.
As a student?
Yes, when he left UNISA for another university,
Okay.
he was still the one supervising me. So I was made the external moderator for French in his department.
Wow.
And they pay me some stipend for that. You see, so can any professor here in Nigeria do that?
I don't think that's possible.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
It is not.
So we should not just arrogate power unnecessarily. Take
yes.
everything easy. We are all equal before God.
Yes.
And that has been my own way of, my own mentality. Yeah.
That's a very good mentality. If other professors can imbibe that culture from you.
Yeah. For example, when we started our PhD program, our postgraduate program here, I called all my colleagues, please, I don't want you to behave as our old professors. We are just starting. If we are too harsh on them,
They will run
come.
away.
They won't come. I will not get any student.
And it's
But
a loss.
of course, but if we try to manage them, everything will be okay, and they would like to come to
Yes.
TASUD for their postgraduate courses. So I told them, if during your own time your supervisor has bastardized you, has you know, giving you so many punishments, so many uneasiness, please don't do that now. And then we are in a new age.
Yes. 21st century.
Yeah, we are in the 21st century.
Things
So,
have evolved so
of
much.
course, of course. So there should be evolution. We should not follow all those old practice. And we have been doing that. And I told them, any student that is serious, make sure you are serious with him or her, so that he or she will complete his program
On
at
time.
the given time, at the stipulated time. And it has been like that. Even some of my colleagues, when we produce our first master's students, some of my colleagues were saying, so they are going to graduate like that. I said, what else again? When they have satisfied all the conditions,
Yes. They've
we
met
don't
all
need to delay
requirements.
them.
Yes.
You don't need to delay them. Let them go.
Yes.
And some other students will come in. So that is just my own style of of life.
So that's a very, very commendable style, and I think all other lecturers should emulate from you.
Of course.
At least it will make things better and things easier for not just the lecturers alone, even the students themselves.
Of course.
So, sir, you're a scholar in French language, and French is such an interesting discipline, and I'm sure there will be some challenges, because even for people to speak English, they find it difficult to speak English, not to talk of another language entirely. So would you please tell us the most challenging problem in your field, and how can students overcome the challenge, and even
Okay.
we people generally?
Yes, French is an interesting language. It's a romantic language of the 21st century, because when we talk about the importance of French language in the world, at least French language is number 2 at the United Nations. When we take English first, French is the next
yes.
language of communication. So it's very interesting and very easy to learn if there is interest. Because if one doesn't have interest, one may not know it. You see, in the secondary school days, while I was teaching in the secondary school, some students will run away from the class. But I call them, you should not run away. And they say, they don't understand it. It's a new language, it's a foreign language. I say, no, if you have interest in it, you will know it.
Yeah.
You just need to be serious a little bit with it. Once you are serious with it, you will overcome all those challenges. And like that, I could get so many students. And for the school arts, the first time I produced students, at least I had about 10 students that did their school arts, French. So it's very interesting, but because some of the pronunciation sounds funny, and then the Yoruba speakers, anything that sounds like Yoruba language, then they make jest of the thing, they play with it,
laugh at it.
and they won't take it serious.
Yes.
So that is the problem we have. But once one is able to talk to them and give them some hints on how to improve themselves in this learning of French language, I think it will be okay. And one of the ways is that once you are a student of French, you go to the class, make sure you attend classes regularly and be attentive. Then after the class, make sure you revise. French is just like mathematics. Make sure you revise whatever you have been taught for that day.
Strictly practical.
It's practical, yes. Practical. You have to
regularly speak the language.
It. Yes, you speak it and listen to it also. So once you get back home or to your hostels, make sure you read, you revise whatever you have been taught for the day. Then at weekend, make sure you revise also. Like that, it will be sinking, the elements will be sinking into their brains. Then another thing is that they should read simple novels. Yes, we have some simple novels
In French.
in French,
Now build
like
vocabulary.
Tunde Ses Amis, and so on and so forth. Le Petit Villageois. These are novels based on African setup. So
That will
once
help.
they read it, and then another way is by reading French Bible. Yes, when you read French Bible, you learn a lot of French there. So these are things you are able to read English Bible and you understand the contents. Now read it in French.
And see if you understand.
Still, you'll be able to understand it with the knowledge, with the English knowledge. So it will improve one's knowledge in French.
How about song?
Yes, singing French songs and poems
Will also help.
Of course, it will also help. Yes.
So
It just needs a little bit of seriousness at the beginning as a learner.
then one is
Once
good to go.
you catch up with it, then
You're good to go.
You are on with French.
That's interesting.
Because here also in our university, we admit students without prior knowledge of French. Because the output of French students from the secondary school are not encouraging. So we admit students without prior knowledge of French. And they perform very well. They perform very well. And that's the reason why we always organize the French club activities, Cercle Français. On Wednesdays, during the socio-educative program, the students will gather in the audiovisual room. They watch French films. Wow. They listen to French songs. They dramatize French plays, and then they sing French songs. So these are
things that build them
up, and that will give them more knowledge. And even for the language immersion program, which is compulsory for all students of French, formally we take our students to the Republic of Benin for their immersion program. Yes. So there also is a French setup. It's a French country. So from there, from entering into the country, they will be seeing signboards written in French
language.
Written in French language. And they will meet these
Citizens,
customs
yes,
and police officers speaking
French
language. So from there, they start to learn French. I always advise them to take along a small notebook. While they are there, when you go into the town and you see anything, write it down. You see anything you don't understand, write it down. Then by the time you get to your hostel, take your dictionary, look for their meanings. By the time they spend their 3 months of the course of the immersion program, they will have learned over 2,000 vocabulary. Yes. So if the students are serious, and some students have been doing that, and it really helps them. It helped them a lot.
They are top-notch now.
Study of French, yes.
Wow, that's interesting. That's wonderful. Okay, so perhaps let's talk about your inaugural lecture.
Okay.
You recently had your inaugural lecture. What motivated the topic, concepts of commitment in African French literature, African masses at the mercy of African leaders? Like, what's the motivating factor? What triggered the topic?
Yes, as a African French literature expert, you see, we have read so many African French authors, even African English authors also,
yes,
including Nigerians, that have written a lot about the socio-political and cultural lives of African countries. And we could see that our African leaders, many of them are not reliable. There are a few ones that are good, but many of them are bad. They are making their citizens to suffer, just as if they were still under the colonial administration. And many of these writers, like Somben Usman, like Alioune Fontouré, Le Cercle du Tropique, we have Le Soleil et des Indépendances by Amadou Kourouma. Yes, he wrote The Sons of Independence. You see, the novel was based on the African and socio-political life of the Africans, how Africans were suffering after independence.
Yes.
So the same thing in Somben Usman's Le Bout de Voix de Dieu. Africans were under colonial rule and that were suffering. There was a railway company that was set up, and the motive of this company is to exploit the Africans economically and politically. So there are so many things that are wrong in all these our African countries. Most of the presidents, they declare themselves as life presidents.
Yeah, spending years.
He's spending so many years and without any function, without achieving anything. And by the time they die or they are living, maybe they send them out by force. Their children
Will take over.
will take over from them. So that is the problem we have in many of these Francophone African countries. And the writers were all criticizing them by telling them that the masses should be made to enjoy. God has created us to enjoy this life and to help each other. So the masses should not be suffering while the leaders are enjoying. So that was the
motivating factor.
The motivating factor.
And it is still happening till now.
Well, the writers have tried their best to correct the situation, but it is still happening now.
But we'll still keep trying to speak out.
Of course. Because literature is the mirror of the society.
Yes,
you see,
of life.
The writers, they are writing about their experiences of life, and they mix it with fiction and reality.
Yes.
They mix fiction with reality so as to achieve their aims. And from their description, you will know that they are talking about so president.
Yes.
You will know that they are talking about so person. So they create characters, and these characters will be given some roles to play in their novels or in their plays, even in poetry. So the concept of commitment is an elastic concept in Francophone African literature. It is a golden concept because many of the writers attach themselves to this concept when they write their novels. And some of the African leaders that are criticized, when they are enraged, they even start looking for the writer. They will arrest and prosecute them. Sometimes they kill them. They execute them. But some of them who are lucky will just run. They will just run away from the country. And from outside the country, they write their literature and drop it into the country. They drop it into the country. We have autocratic leaders like Yadima of Togo, Mobutu Sese Seko of Zaire, Laurent Kabila, Edward Dos Santos of Equatorial Guinea, and so many. Even in Cameroon here, Paul Biya, I think he has been forcefully removed from the presidency recently.
Yes, sir.
You see, he has ruled for about 50 years and he didn't want to leave.
Enjoying all the benefits.
He had become an old man and he couldn't do anything again. He's a helpless man and he still wants to rule the country. You see, they don't learn from what has happened in the past. They just get there, they lord themselves over, they are corrupt, and then with their syndicates, with their allies, they try to run down the economy of the country.
Well, the citizens are living, wallowing in penury and wretchedness.
Yeah. So that is it.
So that's it. Thank you.
So the situation has to be corrected.
Yes,
it has to
definitely
change positively. And my main author there, Somben Usman, he proposed some ways by which the masses can manifest their commitment. And one of the ways is by way of revolt. Yes. By way of violence, by way of strike, by way of solidarity, by way of unionism. Activism, yes. So that once they embark on these strategies, at least they will be able to achieve their aims and objectives of getting a better life from their leaders, from the leaders of their countries. So that is it.
So that's the motivating factor behind your inaugural lecture. It is like a clarion call.
Of course. It's a contemporary issue that is happening everywhere, even in our present day Nigeria.
Yes, everywhere.
You see our politicians, now they are still struggling to go for election in 2027, and the masses are suffering. So
that's the situation of things.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Prof. Sir. Let's take a musical break. Dear listeners, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All you do is drag my name, try to put it all to shame, and it's such a shame. In my mind, I'm Superman, now you Lois Lane. You tell me that you feel the same. Take away all my pain, I won't feel the shame. In your mind, never care about the love, I wish I knew that.
Welcome back to EdTech at 7.5 FM, your gateway to innovation and learning. And we are still listening to Professor Samuel Olufemi Bababtunde, Professor of African French Literature. And we are celebrating him because it's another episode of Biography of Legend. And as we said, he's a trailblazer, and he has set a record of being the first and the only professor of French in Ogun State. I mean, that's an achievement. So perhaps you're welcome once again to EdTech Studio. And it's been so interesting talking to you and learning from you as well. So perhaps let's talk about your personal life.
Okay.
We want to know you personally. What do you enjoy doing aside from academics, if you're not doing academic work?
Okay. Besides academics,
What you enjoy doing?
I enjoy listening to French music. I enjoy.
It's still in line with academics, though.
Yeah, I enjoy reading of novels, and I also like traveling. I travel a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it road trip or you
I
just like
travel-
road trip
Francophone countries. I travel abroad.
just to learn French? Or
Yes.
just for the purpose of exploring?
Purpose of exploring and purpose of academics also.
This is still in line with French.
Yes, it's
So
everything.
will I be
French.
wrong if I say your whole life revolves
Oh,
around
of course,
French?
I'm a Frenchman
Wow.
by excellence.
That's interesting.
Yes, I'm a Frenchman by excellence.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
I
nice.
think in French. I eat in French.
You speak
I
in
do-
French.
I do everything in French.
Wow.
Even my lifestyle is that of French. Yeah.
You've imbibed the culture
Yes, I've
already
been baptized
in French.
into the French culture.
And it is written all over you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Professor Samuel Olufemi Bababtunde, for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. It's been so enlightening having you here in EdTech Studio. We've been able to learn so much from you. We've been able to enjoy and interact well with you. And of course, Prof, we wish you continued success in your future endeavors. Well, thank you all for listening to EdTech 7.5 FM. See you next week on another episode of Biography of Legend. Stay tuned to EdTech, your pathway to innovation and learning.
You're mine. You only hate 'cause I got fame. And all you do is drag my name, try to put it all to shame, and it's such a shame.